what the
I want to
BJP
ask
thinks about
Prashant.
it.
No, you're right. Prashant, Ashwat, Narayan and others have actually welcomed the move. Where they have a problem with this suggestion that, Kannadiga employee numbers should be displayed is in the implementation, which means that the opposition BJP actually agrees with what the Siddaramaiah government wants to do. They're only questioning whether they can implement it or not. That's crazy.
And they passed it in the MSC
Shiv,
and
let
then
me respond to that.
Council and
Let
Assembly.
Prashant answer.
Yeah, Shiv,
Okay.
see, look at things from the perspective in which Mr. Ashwat Narayan spoke. As BJP, we always stand for Kannada and Kannada pride, and we stand for Kannadigas. There is no doubt on it. We always stand for the Kannada pride. But at the same time, we are not here to agree with Congress when the fringe elements go on a rampage and take law into their own hands, which I believe is a state-sponsored event by Siddaramaiah and team. Otherwise, they would not have done that. Be that as it may, if the Congress is wanting to help Kannadigas by saying that, look, you have to get more jobs here in the local quota or whatever, if they're incentivizing the MNCs by giving them cheaper land and other things, then the state government will have a right to say, look, on the condition on which the land is being given to you, you're supposed to employ locals and therefore give us a report. The way in which probably Congress is doing it may be wrong to say, put up a display board. That is completely wrong. It may instill fear in the minds of the employers. But all that they can do, if you're incentivizing the MNCs for hiring locals by giving rebate in the property tax or giving land at cheaper rates, you can ask a report from them, say quarterly or half yearly, saying what is the job opportunities created for locals, so that you have set up your industry here and you are doing your business, you are making money. At the same time, the state and states people should prosper. So therefore, things put in right perspective should be done, and they can't have this open display of boards saying 500 Kannadigas employed and the fringe elements going back to say
sounds ridiculous.
How many non-locals are there. That should not be done.
You're saying there's a way to go about it. The intention may be right,
Kannadigas,
but this is ridiculous.
BJP stands for it. But if it is to
Syed,
politicize,
quick rebuttal, then I'll go to Suhas. Syed, quick
30-second rebuttal, Shiv. The fact of the matter, I'm glad my friend from the BJP has accepted the same. You need to understand, they talk about implementation. It was the same BJP and the Congress party together passed this law in the Legislative Council and the Legislative Assembly. Also, when he mentioned about the activist violent incidents, sir, it's happened in Bamai rule, it has happened in Yediyurappa rule, it has happened in JDS, Congress, BJP. So attributing it to Congress alone is absolutely wrong. It's happened over several decades here in Karnataka. So you cannot attribute it to Congress alone.
But
that shows the duplicity and hypocrisy of the BJP, sir. You need to understand that. I'm glad you make an accent.
Like we said,
we don't make false claims. We've always stood for Kannada and Kannada pride.
Suhas Nerurkar wants to make a point.
Which will give rise to the fringe elements running the show. The fringe elements cannot run the show. Anything done in a legal manner with the constitutional mandate, let them pass a law. We are happy for it.
Sir.
Okay, Syed and Prashant, hold your horses, guys.
Bamai rule and Yediyurappa rule.
We all feel very sentimental about identity, and we are all from Karnataka as a matter of fact. But yeah, Mr. Nerurkar, you raised your hand. You wanted to add something to this?
Yes.
And I just wanted to add one small point. That at the beginning of the show we said that no party is completely lily white as far as indulging identity politics is concerned. But I am saying that with something like this, the lines get blurred. Just a few weeks after shops were damaged and things were defaced, for the government to come out and announce something like this, it blurs the lines between violent activism and state policy, and that could spread fear in the business community. Suhas, yes.
Yeah, so again, I come back to my main point. Everybody is making an assumption on what this means. Now, the way it is being touted, when you use the words like local or Kannadiga, there is a particular scenario that people are having in their mind, which is the problem. I still don't know the definition of these words. People who have been here for 20, 30 years, whose mother tongue is not Kannadiga, are they Kannadigas or they not? Or people whose mother tongue is Kannada, but they are not, they have recently come to Bangalore, are they Kannadigas? See, all people who have mostly been in Karnataka for most of their life.
Mr. Nerurkar, you've made that point. I want to explore a different theme. I get it. You've established that point.
I'm saying that people are making statements about politicians are making statements about pride of locals, but they're not defining what it means in actual.
Sir,
how will you identify a person whether he is local or he is a Kannadiga? Please tell me how you will identify.
Let us assume.
I want to know this. What is the definition? How will you identify a person when you meet him? Are you local? Are you? Do you qualify?
Let us assume, Mr. Nerurkar.
No, that definition is the key. That definition
arbitrary decision should not be taken. All that we are saying is arbitrary decision should not be taken. There must be a proper policy framework and law, and then only it can move forward, or else it will lead to fringe elements taking law in their own hands.
Yes.
For example, Shiv, I know you hail from the state of Karnataka, but you reside elsewhere. I am born and brought up in Bangalore. I speak Kannada, I speak Telugu, I speak Hindi. So what does Congress government do with people like us? Just because you're multilingual, will they treat us differently? So definitely not. So Congress has to come out with a proper framework, guidelines, and also they must give assurance to the companies that, look, there is no need to fear. We are not doing this to instill any fear, but it's only a mechanism to ensure that locals get some employment. If the intention of the Congress is good, locals will prosper. But if Congress is doing it for political gimmicks, it is very bad on their part to indulge in this gimmicks.
But like Mohandas Pai said, Syed, like Mohandas Pai said, that fear factor is already going to be there. If you've had vandals and hooligans defacing boards recently with no real retribution or no fear of the law, it almost seems like the government is kind of endorsing that kind of regional pride and making it policy. I'm not saying it's wrong. That is up for debate right now. But the point is that it has to be done in a way that is, sober. Suhas raised the issue of, actually defining what this is actually going to mean, because apart from fear, it will cause confusion also for MNCs.
Yes.
They've already spent millions of dollars on compliance on so many issues. Here's one more thing on their heads. Syed and then Suhas.
Absolutely, Shiv. I completely agree with Suhas's point, which was made, that there needs to be a clear-cut distinction of the same. Also, my good friend Prashant made a statement about these fringe elements. Respected sir, like I said earlier, this happened during Bamai rule. You are okay with it? Or were you complicit of that?
Harping on what happened then?
So
Prashant, let him finish. Prashant, let him finish. I'll give you time.
Allow me to
Prashant, let him finish. One at a time. Let him finish. I'll come back to you.
I'll hear you, my friend. Also, I can tell you the fact of the matter. Sir, your own legislative council members, your own legislative assembly members, along with the Congress party, has passed the same Karnataka language amendment bill. So, sir, you need to read the bill. Your party has been in
the Karnataka language bill is completely different.
This bill.
It is about the name boards having 60%.
You're against it. So, sir, are you taking the responsibility to say that Prashant as a spokesperson is against the BJP party? Sir, the Congress, BJP, JDS, all three together in the council and the state assembly has done this. So you need to own up, sir. Your party leader has welcomed this move.
You're getting confused with the issue.
Let Prashant answer. Let Prashant answer now.
No. See, the issue of name boards is completely different. The name boards law mandates that 60% of the space in the name board should be in the Kannada and the balance in other languages. Now that can't be now interpreted to have the names of employees listed on the outside the company headquarters. I think Syed is trying to deviate. And Syed, please move on from what has happened in the past. Look at this particular law.
Let him answer. Syed, let him answer.
You are trying to live in the past and say it happened during Bommai rule, it happened during Kumaraswamy's rule. Some things might have happened. But look at now what should not happen. Fringe elements should not take over and make use of this particular loophole by Congress to say Kannadiga's number of employees should be displayed on the board. That should not happen. Companies should not have a fear factor. Companies should be free to conduct the business in a transparent manner, because after all, India is a free country and anybody from across India, from any state can come to Karnataka and set up business and
all of this stuff.
So therefore, there should not be fear among the business community.
Your leader
all that saying is Congress should not make it a political tool.
So I think
all of this. Okay, let me. I'm going to give Suhas the last word. Suhas the last word because we're out of time. But I just want to say, any and all such suggestions, framing of rules, they smack of parochialism. Bengaluru, Karnataka has been one of India's earliest global cities and global states. the cosmopolitan nature of Bengaluru is something that people across the country have admired about it. People from all walks of life, from all across the country, all languages have come to work and prosper in Bengaluru. It's the reason why Bengaluru is what it is. Could something like this actually harm that reputation? I'm going to give the last word now to Suhas since he's a business person. Suhas, yes. Assume that the rules have been framed. Assume that the criteria have been defined. What would the business community do then?
This is fundamentally the moment you ask people to put numbers of what people of what category are put in. It's fundamentally a problem. It makes the whole environment very parochial, and it's not good for any business. Ultimately, certain industries, in fact, most industries work on free flow of knowledge capital as well as other kind of labor. At the moment you start putting all these criteria, it's a problem. And in fact, no company is, in fact, for that matter, no government office puts up boards like how many scheduled castes they have hired, though they are mandated to put certain number of people in reservation. Because that's not how you work. So from a pure visual and a messaging, public messaging point of view, this is highly retrograde. There is no other word.
There are national elections looming in just a few weeks from now. You know, parties, governments across the state and the center are going to be in a mood to announce or hint at many, many different things which might have, regional or political dividends for them. We'll have to see whether this particular announcement actually translates into an actual requirement for companies. But thank you very much for all your perspectives. Suhas Nerurkar, Syed and Prashant, my friends, thank you very much for being with me and giving me your time on 5 Live. Thank you.